Welcome to Crusade with me, where you're not just a listener, you're part of this crusade. You can call or text us at 260-267-0414. Again, that's 260-267-0414. We are Crusade with me, where the road is long, the lessons are deep, and together we journey back to Eden. Today, we wanted to speak about one of the most difficult and most sacred the crusade any of us will ever face. That's parenting. Okay. So let me begin with a story. A story that moved me to my core this morning. All right. In Sweden, there's a mother. Her name is Emma Scholes. She woke up one night to find her home in flames. Her 6 children were trapped inside. Without hesitation, she ran through flames and fire and smoke, carrying them one by one to safety. The last to be rescued was her youngest, still an infant. By the time Emma got all 6 out, she was burned across 93% of her body. 93%. She nearly died. But she saved her children. Every one of them lived. Today, Emma still carries those scars, but her children carry the proof of her love. That's parenting. The willingness to walk through fire if it means our children have a chance to live. And while most of us may never face flames like Emma did, every parent faces the fire in one form or another. The sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the tears shed behind closed doors, and yes, the hardest fire of them all is letting go. So parenting is a crusade of stages. It begins with helplessness. Not theirs, ours. Okay. We hold this tiny being, smaller than our arm, and suddenly we realize how fragile, how unprepared, how in awe we are. The infant stage is all need. They cry, we run, right? They hunger, we feed. They hurt, we ache. And that's what this episode is all about. So it's interesting that I had asked you, I said, you got any thoughts for episodes this morning? And I had already come across that story by Emma Scholes from Sweden. Mm-hmm. And I had actually taken a picture of it on my phone from social media. An hour later, you say, oh, I think we should do something on parenting. And there's other reasons you said that, right? So in our own world, mm-hmm. as you are tracking our children, our kids, and our 3 of the Fab 5,
yeah,
right? Our son and daughter-in-law are moving from our locale back to Florida, right?
Yep.
And so we went there last night. Well, you had already said your goodbyes, but I had been out of town, so we went there last night, and Andrew had most of the truck packed.
Yeah.
The only thing I had left in our house was a couple of mattresses, and I helped him take a shelving unit apart. Said goodbye to the kids, and my itty bitty pretty one, she's so excited, which is good.
Yeah,
I'm excited for them. I truly am. I pray to God that this move is going to create so much wealth in their life. And when I say wealth in their life, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about finance. I'm talking about the wealth of the life to live, right? And I know they've been there before, and they're going back, which I'm excited about. I'm excited for them, and it's exciting. So, we are
Doesn't
not.
feel very exciting
Well,
on this end.
I know.
I know. I know. I
Yeah.
can be excited and happy and sad all at the same time.
Correct,
Which is
correct.
what I told the oldest, number
Yes.
one grandson.
Yes, correct.
This was just all came about very quickly, very quickly. And so part of me was just kind of in denial about it. And when Andrew and the kids came over on Thursday, he's like, well, we're coming to say goodbye. And I'm like, goodbye. And he's like, well, we're leaving tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow. But yeah, it just, I mean, I knew it was coming.
Right.
but
It had been in the
only-
works,
But like by 3 weeks. I mean, 3 weeks.
right.
This was, I mean, we've kind of talked about their whole landlord,
Right.
scum lords.
Correct.
I mean, this is the reason. I mean, it is
right.
the reason. And he was able to,
They're
he's going back
harassing.
to a previous employer, which is, had kind of reached out to
Who
him.
had reached out to him, right? So this is, in my mind, this is divine.
Yeah. I mean,
It really is.
I mean, they would have never done this. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, but it's it's a rough, I can't cry anymore.
You were just wiping tears. From
Well,
your-
you were reading that story, but I mean,
Yeah.
I can't cry over this anymore.
Yeah.
So
But you also understand it is exciting, and that's really what
Yeah.
this episode is really all about. Is that in the crusade of parenting, there are stages that we all go through, and it starts with, and we're going to get to parenting adults, and there's such a thing as parenting adults,
right,
and the roles drastically change.
right. Well, the reason I came up with this was because part of our conversation Thursday was, he's like, Andrew said, I want to thank you and Dad for being so great about this. And I said, well, do we have a choice? If I was
don't.
angry about it, would that change anything? And I said, well, Andrew, we've kind of raised you to, leave and cleave. And,
Correct.
and that means that you make decisions for your family. And yes, they might impact us, but, throwing a temper tantrum isn't going to help. But, what happens between your four walls affects you.
Correct.
And it doesn't, impact us. And so by saying anything, but I understand that there's, maybe our daughter-in-law's mom is taking it a little harder or is a little differently.
Right.
And
right.
and he's a little upset about that. And I said, I'm going to tell you right now, you give her grace.
Correct.
And you extend mercy to her because our grandchildren and her other 2 grandchildren, because she has her own set of Fab Five, and 3 of our Fab Five are part of her Fab Five. And I said, they are her whole world.
Correct.
She's been divorced since our daughter-in-law was like 9. So she's on her own. And then she has Gigi.
Right. Her mom.
And that is her whole world.
Right.
I said, so you are now taking away half of her whole world.
Right.
And I said, so you and Steph need to be gracious and let her be upset for a time. And because she deserves that. And, he's like, well, she should have come out more. She should have done this. And I said, no. We're not doing that.
Nope.
Because we all could say, you should have come here more. We should have gone there more. Because when you think you have the luxury of time, you take things for granted.
And that's one thing we don't control and we don't have
Right.
much of, but
And
we think
can,
we do.
Yeah. And we can always look back and say, I mean, that's the same about death. I mean,
Correct,
you hear
correct.
people who lose their parents, their spouse, their children, their whatever, and they always say,
I thought I had more time.
I thought I had more time, and
Right.
hug your loved one because we can't do that anymore. I said, so it's the same thing.
Correct.
You can't go back and say, I said, because we could say the same thing. We should have
Right.
come more often, or you guys should have come here more often, or whatever. But
Correct.
definitely do not do that, and don't put that on her.
Correct. We'll get there. We'll get there. But
yep.
I wanted to talk about the different stages of parenting, right?
Yep.
So when you have the infant, and we can remember back, it was 37 and 35 years ago, or however long ago. This is what I like about looking at this in stages, is that, and how it aligns with Scripture, and how it aligns with a lot of other quote unquote sacred writings, and talking about the circle of life, or whatever.
Lion King.
Lion King. Okay, I couldn't remember. Yeah. But so you get the infants, right? Infants are pure dependents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they are.
Right.
They teach us selflessness in ways no book ever could.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have toddlers, right? The age of exploration and chaos, all in one.
Right.
Their energy exhausts us.
Mm-hmm.
I think of itty bitty. But their wonder reminds us of Eden's innocence.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have children. That's the stage of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the sky blue?
Why?
Why do people die? They teach us patience. And sometimes they force us to confront truths we've hidden from ourselves. Then there's the teen years.
The smelly years.
The trial by fire years.
Mm-hmm.
They test boundaries, push limits, stretch our love, right? They demand independence even as they still need guidance.
Yes.
And then you have young adults. And that's the letting go stage.
Mm-hmm.
The time when we must shift from commander to counselor, from guardian to witness. And through it all, something happens to us, right? Well, our love grows.
Yeah.
Not always easily, not without frustration or fear, but daily. It's just like muscles, built through repetition. Parenting shapes us. And if you allow it, the love we develop from them becomes the purest training for unconditional love. And here's the hard truth. It's a paradox of parenting. If we do our job well, they leave us, right? Think about that. Every sleepless night, every scraped knee bandaged, every life lesson poured into them, all of it leads to this one outcome. They will go. They're not ours to keep. They are ours to prepare. So the goal of parenting is not possession, but preparation. We raise mini-me's, but they're not us. They are their own souls, their own lights, their own destinies. Holding them too tightly suffocates their growth. Releasing them too early leaves them unprepared. Like arrows in a quiver. I believe David wrote that in the Psalms. They are meant to be aimed, drawn back, and released. And when they soar, our hearts soar with them. Even if it means they fly far beyond our reach. So once they're gone, the crusade doesn't end, is what I'm trying to say.
Nope.
Our roles simply transform. The temptation for many parents is to cling,
Yes. Interject.
to offer advice unasked, to try to control the path, to criticize when their choices don't match ours. But true love is not control. True love is freedom. So here's 3 truths for parenting of grown children. Number 1 is unconditional love means no strings. Your love cannot depend on whether they lived life the way you would. Number 2, silence can be love. Sometimes the most supportive thing to say is nothing, to let them learn. And number 3, presence matters more than advice. A steady parent is like a lighthouse, always there, shining but never steering the ship. And know this, they will stumble. They may even fail. But failure is not the enemy. It's the soil from which wisdom grows. If we swoop in to rescue them every time, we rob them of that growth. Our task is not to keep them from pain, but to remind them they are never unloved in it. And parenting points back to Eden. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, humanity walked in perfect union. Child and parent with no fear, no shame, no separation. That longing still lives in us. We see it when we hold our newborn. We feel it when our children laugh without fear. And we ache for it when they walk away into a world on their own. But here's the promise. Parenting is not about clinging to Eden's past. It's about training the next generation to walk toward Eden's future. When they start families of their own, they are carrying forward the crusade. And though we step back, our love marches on with them. Shaping, guiding, reminding, even from a distance. Mm-hmm. The greatest legacy we leave is not control over their lives, but love planted so deep it cannot be uprooted by distance, disagreement, or even death. That is Eden love. That is parenting. Now, in our relationship, honey, I know that you were a far better parent than I was because I was not around so much. But
that's not true. You are the words man. I always say that. I'm the emotional hugger. You're the words man. When the kids needed to have sound, wise advice, that was your job. I was there to comfort.
Oh, they said my job was to take my belt to their backside.
Oh,
and I think I spanked Abby, once, maybe twice? I probably didn't do it enough, honestly.
You're going to get a cease and desist letter.
Love my princess. Love my princess.
I think that as our children entered into marriage, at that point in particular,
yes.
when they get married,
that's
when we become the support staff.
Correct.
We no longer.
I agree with what you're saying. I know where you're going, but I would, I want to come back to that. So keep going.
Well, that's kind of what you were saying.
Yes.
You didn't use those words, but that's how I've viewed it. We're just here we're here for support. Mm-hmm. Yes, we've made mistakes in that role at times.
Yes.
But you're now creating, as you stated, your own family now, and now you make decisions for you. And I think that, and most of the people that I know have taken the similar stance and role and let that family make decisions for themselves and have been supportive.
Correct.
I also know people that have tried to be controlling or force that couple to make decisions and no, you're going to do this and you're going to, especially when it comes to holidays and stuff like that. Like you're going to,
You're speaking from experience here. I know.
You're going to come here and we expect you to be here and do this and do that. And it's like we kind of learned.
We lived that life
You know
for a
what?
while.
Our home is open. This is what we're doing. You can come or not. You want to go to her family or his family.
Right.
Oh, we have no expectations. We don't want to put any pressure on you. This is your family. You do. If you want to stay home, do your own thing, create your own traditions.
Correct.
You do that. Whatever.
Traditions.
Yeah, I think we've stated that before. I've stated that before. But it's hard to let go of something that you've created
and you
shaped,
love. And you love.
Yes. And then step back. And it's also hard when, especially with our kids, they come to us with a lot, asking for advice. And it's hard.
Yeah, but we got to get them some hearing tests. Anyway.
And then you offer your advice, and then they don't take it.
That's why I said we need to get them some hearing tests.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So, yeah.
And look, and I say all this. How many times, almost every episode, we are not experts at anything. All we talk about is, we talk about our experiences. This is just our experiences. And we're kind of sharing those to see if we can help anybody else move along. And in the light of us crusading back to Eden, to being the light side of the Force and yank people from the dark side of the Force, or whatever your mindset is for what. That's what this podcast is all about. And we haven't written books. We haven't done any of that.
We're not licensed therapists.
No.
Even though we try to play that.
No. Well, we don't even try to play that. But yeah, I just want to be clear that, it's, this is heartfelt. This is our lives. And doesn't mean we didn't screw up I didn't screw up numerous times with the kids. I was probably way harder on Andrew than I should have been.
I think everybody's harder on their first one.
Yeah, probably. And then
the second one just runs amok.
She didn't run amok. She was actually really good.
I always say, and
remember, because she didn't even want to leave.
She ran amok for about 6 months.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. So, this is just our experience, and we're explaining our experience, and we've thought more deeply about those experiences and trying to put it into words on a podcast. That's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And sharing that with others to maybe help. If you've got an infant and you have young ones, please listen, because I hope this helps. And you can text or call us and let us know, right? I mean,
and we're not babysitters.
260-267-0414.
Even though we have a void in our life, we don't babysit.
I feel like the Jerry Lewis telethon when I do that. I'm sorry. That was MS?
Yeah, MS, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Although
that's not even on anymore.
No, it's not.
Jerry's dead. So I mean, that's a problem.
Hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Although we did a phone campaign. Remember that one before we started dating? I think after we started.
I thought we were dating.
But I think
you might have been dating
right
more than
before
just me.
We
you might have been dating more than just me. I think that's what
and
that
then,
was.
Yeah, we did a phone campaign for a children's home.
Yes, I remember that. I raised a lot of money then.
I bet you did.
I did.
How do you know how much? How do you even remember?
Because they rang that bell, just like the Jerry Lewis
right.
telethon, right?
They did ring the bell.
Yeah. That was the first and last time I've ever worked a call center, I'll tell you that.
It was not televised, though.
Nope. So our daughter-in-law has provided, she's sharing her tracking information with you.
Her location, yeah.
Her location.
Which is what our daughter wants us to do.
Okay, we're not there.
Yeah.
And
She
and
doesn't,
she
need,
doesn't
to
need to know, right.
where we are.
If she's at it, I'll send her video. How's
So we're tracking them. Yeah, fun.
Not we, you.
I thought she shared with you too.
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
No. I got a picture from Andrew earlier of a slider they were having for breakfast in Kentucky or
White
somewhere.
Castles, yeah.
White Castles, yeah.
Yeah. And he said, our first stop of the day. And I said, yeah, your second stop is in T-minus 30 minutes to go to the bathroom.
That's correct.
Because that's how White Castles work. So, yeah, pray for us, pray for them, safe arrival and a new life for our oldest, Lovey, who has, he's been to a lot of schools.
Right.
So.
He's tough. I love that he, several months ago, I bought all of us a...
Christmas.
It was Christmas, yeah. Bought all the boys in my life a cross.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually it looks like a silver Celtic cross, but it's thick. It's a 3D, and then in the center of the cross, it has the Templar cross in it, white and red.
He wears that proudly.
And he wears that, yeah, and I'm so proud of him, and I'm glad that I told him he needs to keep wearing that, and remember Papa's wearing his, because we all have one.
Yeah.
So, safe travel to Andrew and Steph and Big Sexy Stud, Itty Bitty Pretty One, and Earth Angel, right?
Earth Angel's going to miss me.
Yes, she is. She ain't going to miss me. But that's it on parenting. Thank you for joining us, and I hope this helped. Crusaders, hear this. Parenting is fire and joy, laughter and tears, holding close and letting go. If you do it right, your children will leave you, but they will not lose you. Your love will march with them into your own battles, their own families, their own lives. Do not cling, do not control. Love them freely, release them boldly, and trust that on the road to Eden, they will one day bring their children and their children's children to walk beside us. This is the crusade of parenting. Hard, holy, beautiful, and we're made for it.